Hey, hey, hey. Back on the Instagram Live doing another movie shelf for my series, my movie collection library shelves overview. This is shelf number 9. It is the last shelf in my first library. And I'm sitting on my floor right now, as you can see, all the way up, now all the way down right here. Put it back here. So, yeah, last shelf of the first library. So let's start with the first movie. Krampus, one of the better Christmas horror movies that came out in the last few years. I've tried to check it out every Christmas if I can, but I quite enjoy it. It had an old-timey, old-school 80s vibe to it, which was really nice. So there you go, Krampus. I got The Crawl here. You know, those sword and sandals kind of movies, sci-fi-ish kind of thing. Not my jam, but I believe I had a good deal on this one. I've never seen it, but I'm curious to check it out. Right here, Crawl. Now what? That's something that's more up my alley, and it is Crush Groove. I love those hip hop movies from the '80s. Break-In. This one right here. Great talents. Sheila E., Run DMC, The Fat Boys, Curtis Blow, New Edition. Yeah, man, it's a great relic from that time. So there you go, Crush Groove. I feel like this next one's a bit underrated as a comedy from the early 90s, 1991. Cuffs, Christian Slater, Mila Jovovich. I know there's is it Shout Factory that released this last year, and I really need to get my hands on it. I actually saw this in theaters. It was January 1991. That's right, or 92. Is it 92? No, 92. And yeah, I thought it's pretty good. Christian Slater, ageless as always. One of my favorite Steve Martin movies, and I saw that in theaters as well, is Ellie's Story. A great movie about lives. The people lives in LA. He plays, I believe, a weatherman. It's one of the first, not a first role, but one of the roles where Sarah Jessica Parker got discovered, I guess, for comedic talent. But yeah, Ellie's Story right here. I have the media book of Labyrinth. It's the 30th anniversary edition. This thing is really amazing. Looks great. Jim Henson, of course, behind this. David Bowie, Jennifer Connelly. Oh, Jennifer Connelly. How I love thee. So there you go, Labyrinth. This was a blind buy. This is Scorpion releasing. Lady Ice, Donald Sutherland, Robert Duvall, Jennifer O'Neill. Donald still alive and kicking. Just celebrated a birthday a couple weeks ago. I believe he's like his early to mid 80s. But he seems to be playing a cool cat in this one, with a title like Lady Ice, you know. Up next, it is Lady Snowblood right here. I got I turned it to the original cover. Really some Arrow video. It's the two movies, Lady Snowblood and Lady Snowblood, Love Song of Vengeance. Right here, the inspiration for Kill Bill. Like her story, like the what she has to go through in the movie. It's kind of similar in, Kill Bill series. Up next, George A. Romero's Land of the Dead. One of his, I guess it's one of the lesser dead in this series. Is it like one of the last one too? I feel like I've seen this, but I couldn't tell you a damn thing about it now. But yeah, this came out in was it 2005? There you go, Land of the Dead. Another underrated movie. This one from Arnold Schwarzenegger, Last Action Hero. And I love this one because it's, first of all, I got the original cover right here, but it was a very meta movie. He was playing himself in the movie, and outside of it, a kid that just wins, not wins, but just found a golden ticket and gets inside the movie screen. And then shenanigans ensues. There's like cameos from all the big stars back in the day, like Arnold, like Sylvester Stallone, and it's John McTiernan who did Die Hard and Predator. I feel like it's very underrated. Like it was a hit, but not quite. But this one should be revisited by a lot of people. Up next, I got The Last American Virgin. This one was one of the first Cannon Films hits from the Golden Globus, crew. I believe it was directed by Boaz Davidson, all from Israel. But yeah, there's in the vein of Porky's and Revenge of the Nerds. The kid that loses his virginity, who tries to, Another favorite of mine from the early 90s. Shane Black wrote this baby. The Last Boy Scout. Bruce Willis, Damon Wayans. Who directed this? Yeah, Tony Scott, of course. This is we were still in the Bruce Willis in his good period, when he was still caring about the work he was doing, and obviously, and then it was produced by Joel Silver too, which is the good shit right here. Is there a Blu-ray? Because I would want this on Blu-ray. I'm not quite sure. I'm sure there is one. Up next, we have Berry Gordy's The Last Dragon, starring Taimak and Vanity. May she rest in peace, Vanity. Sho'nuff, of course, is like the big highlight in this movie. The self-proclaimed Shogun of Harlem. And yeah, it's one from early 80s, mid 80s. The Last House on the Left. By Wes Craven, of course. This is the oldest edition of this movie possible. I could have gotten the Arrow video, and at some point I know it was like on sale for really cheaply, and somehow I didn't get my hands on it, but I still have it in my collection. I just need to upgrade. This is another one, Code Red release. Code Red number 132, The Last Hunter. David Warbeck, Tisa Farrow, and John Steiner. It's like a Vietnam movie. Another Bruce Willis movie. This one is from Walter Hill, The Last Man Standing. So basically, Bruce against everybody else in this movie. It's a great shoot 'em up, and it was right in that period where Pulp Fiction came out. I believe this came out in 96. So there you go. Right here, Last Man Standing. I got a TV movie, The Last Ninja, starring Michael Beck. Michael Beck, of course, being of the Warriors. Nancy Kwan's in this. This was supposed to be, I think it was on CBS, I want to say, or ABC. They wanted to do ABC in 1983. And they wanted to do a series about ninja, which they did on CBS with The Master, with Lee Van Cleef. But yeah, this one just didn't make it through, but they released it as a DVD. So at least you get to watch it in that way. Up next, we have a cop movie starring Brian Dennehy, The Last of the Finest. We got some Jeff Fahey, Bill Paxton, Joey Pants is in this. This is a great cast from 1990 right here. We got another Code Red. This one is Last Plane Out. Jan Malcolm Vincent, Julie Carmen, Mary Crosby. I actually have the trailer of this on my channel. I'm the only one who has it. Ha ha ha. But yeah, it's another war movies, people getting rescued and such. How about a sci-fi movie from the 80s, The Last Starfighter? I've heard a lot of good things about this one. I still haven't seen it. I should make it a point to do so, but yeah, right here, directed by Nick Castle, right here. Now, a movie I have seen is The Lawnmower Man, Jeff Fahey, Pierce Brosnan. One of those early virtual reality movies. I believe this was from 1992 and directed by Brett Leonard. I know there's a sequel, which I haven't seen, but yeah. Right here, this is Pierce Brosnan before James Bond and all the like. So another 80s teen classic, I guess. The Legend of Billie Jean, with the Ellen Slater, Yardley Smiths in this, Christian Slater. Oh yeah, this is a Mill Creek release. Actually, this was released because like the person who runs Mill Creek is like a huge fan of this movie, and the first movie he wanted to release was this one, and he's got his wish. And there you go. Next is the Leprechaun series, and I believe I'm missing only one, I think. But first one being Leprechaun with Jennifer Aniston and Warwick Davis, obviously playing Leprechaun. It's an okay movie for what it is when it came out, but then the sequels would get worse and worse. Leprechaun 2 right here, and I get them all on DVD because why pay more for this? It's not really worth more than that. But Leprechaun 2, I got Leprechaun 3, which this one is in Vegas, him with his pot of gold in Vegas right here, and this was directed by Brian Trenchard Smith, legendary Australian genre director. There you go. And there's a movie of his that's coming out later. That's one of my favorite of his. I got Leprechaun 4 in space, and I'm up to this one because I try to watch one every March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, obviously. So I'm up to this one. So March 17, 2021, Leprechaun 4 in space, again, directed by Brian Trenchard Smith. Then we have Leprechaun in the Hood with Ice-T. I mean, I almost want to skip 4 to get to this one because I love me some iced tea. The drink and the wrapper. And then we got Leprechaun Back in the Hood. Yeah, this doesn't fill me with confidence just looking at this cover right here. There you go. Up next, we have classic drug movie from the 80s, Less Than Zero. With the Brad Pack, Andrew McCarthy, Robert Downey Jr., Jamie Gertz. This is based on what's his name? Bret Easton Ellis. That's the name I was looking for. But yeah, young yuppie cokeheads in the 80s. Always a fun watch. Then we have Let Me In, which is the remake of the original Swedish movie. I've seen the original. I've not seen the remake, but I own it for some reason. So there you go. Let Me In. One of those under the sea movies, I guess, kind of like The Abyss. We got Leviathan with Peter Weller, Amanda Pays. Oh, Amanda Pays. Richard Crenna, Hector Elizondo. It's one I really need to watch. George B. Cosmatos did this. He also did Cobra. He did Tombstone. A movie that speaks to me right now. License to Drive. Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, the Coreys. Probably the best movie they've done. It speaks to me right now because I'm actually doing my classes for my driver's license. I actually just finished one, like not even half an hour ago. So I'm probably going to watch this movie again just to inspire me once I get on the road for the first time, much like Corey Haim did. So there you go, License to Drive. Michael J. Fox, 1993, Life with Mikey. I mean, one of the lesser Michael J. Fox comedies from that era. I barely remember what it's about. I think he plays an agent to kids or some nonsense, but there you go. Then we have Life Force, one of the most batshit crazy sci-fi movies from the 80s from Canon Films. It is also British. And what everyone remember is Matilda May, who plays like the lead alien in this, who just pretty much walks around naked the whole damn movie. So, what's not to like? And yeah, there you go, Life Force. Up next, it's The Limits of Control. I believe it is a, Jim Jarmusch. That's what I was going to say. I have not seen this one yet, but I got this for Bill Murray, and apparently he's only in this for like 5 minutes. So maybe that's why I haven't gone to it yet, but I will one day. Then we have Little Nikita, Sidney Poitier, River Phoenix, one of the very few movies he did, before his untimely death in 1993. There you go. Yes, Little Nikita. The Snapcase of Little Shop of Horror, Rick Moranis and a singing plant right here. Frank Oz, one of my all-time favorite directors, What About Bob, House Sitter, Dirty Rotten Scoundrel. I believe this was based on a musical, or the musical was based on this. I don't quite remember. Up next we have Live Free or Die Hard. I watched it once and it was quite enough. I'm a completist. The first 3 Die Hards is where it's at. 4 and 5, I don't really give a fuck. He's pretty much like, at some point he became like a superhero, like not even human anymore. So it's not really fun, to watch. Die Hard 3, on the other hand, fucking great, amazing movie. You have to rewatch it. It was its 25th anniversary earlier this month. Very much worth looking back. Up next, we got Live Like a Cop, Die Like a Man, a Poliziotteschi Eurocrime movie starring Ray Lovelock, right here. And I will be posting a video either this weekend or early next week about a set I bought that might be of interest to you. So I would urge you to check it out when it is online. Up next, Live Wire, starring Pierce Brosnan, Ron Silver, Ben Cross, directed by Christian Duguay, a Montreal director. This was shot in Montreal. It's about him being a bomb diffuser, I guess. It's came out in 1993. I think it was direct to video, and this is like one of my blind spots, like direct to video movies from the early 90s, like from 90 to 95. I'm desperately hoping that like a trailer compilation of those kind of movies will come out soon. And that's another video I'm going to be working on, my trailer compilations. I want to do something like that. Up next is Living Large, one of those like urban comedies from the early 90s. I think Mo Money or Boomerang or stuff like that. So this is one of the lesser known ones that came out, I believe, is 91. So yeah, there you go. One of those classic 70s sci-fi movies, Logan's Run, right here. Another classic from the 70s, from Robert Altman, The Long Goodbye. It's Elliot Gould playing Philip Marlowe, a detective, right here. Another movie that hasn't gotten that much love, it's The Long Kiss Goodnight. Gina Davis, Samuel L. Jackson, Rennie Harlan directed this. This is when he was still married to Gina Davis, I believe. Yeah, is it I believe it's Shane Black. Yeah, it's Shane Black that wrote this as well. So in the same vein as Last Boy Scout, if you haven't seen The Long Kiss Goodnight, very much worth your time. Up next, one of my favorite comedians, and it is Albert Brooks, looking for comedy in the Muslim world. I think this is one of his last movies he's directed. After this, he's only done like acting work, which is quite a shame because, he is a brilliant comedic mind. And there you go, look, this movie. Then a movie from Joe Dante, Looney Tunes Back in Action, the movie. I guess they were trying to do their own Who Framed Roger Rabbits, and it kind of flopped. Brendan Fraser, Jenna Elfman, Steve Martin was in this. So yeah. Space Jam, I guess, was such a hit that they decided to do this one, and it didn't work out too well. So there you go. Looper, Bruce Willis, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Emily Blunt. Again, that's when Bruce Willis was still caring about his work. It's a really cool movie, directed by Rian Johnson. He of the Star Wars movies and Knives Out last year. There we go, Looper. Lord of Illusions from Clive Barker. And the main star in this one being Scott Bakula. There you go. Lord of Illusion. Another classic 80s movie. The Lost Boys. There. Look at this cast. My God, man. And pretty stacked, you know. Corey Feldman, Jamie Gerst, Corey Haim, and Jason Patrick Kiefer's in this. Directed by Joel Schumacher, who sadly passed away last month at the tender age of 82. But yeah, this is one of his better ones. Lost Highway, David Fincher, Bill Pullman, probably one of his weirder performances. When you think Bill Pullman, you don't really think these kind of movies, but you know, he gave it a shot and kind of worked out pretty well for him. I believe this is one of the last performances of what's his face, Robert Blake, before he went to prison when you know, murdered his wife and all. Another Albert Brooks movie. This is Lost in America with him and Julie Haggerty. A great road movie. You know, and it's Albert Brooks, and all is his you know, neuroses and the way that he sees life, you know, betting all their money in Las Vegas and losing everything. And then from there, craziness ensues. So there you go, Lost in America. A small little movie from the early 90s, Love Potion #9. And this I feel like this got more attention because that was right around the time where Sandra Bullock got really famous. So this movie got a little nudge up because of it. My God, another Corey Haim movie. This is the role for a lot of Corey Haim. This one is Lucas with Charlie Sheen and Winona Ryder. And we've learned something that happened on this movie that's, yeah, that's between Charlie Sheen and Corey Haim. Kind of taints this movie a little bit, but, you know. All right, Machete, Robert Rodriguez. I would say these are my favorite movies of his. It has everything I like, you know. It's like a great B-movie exploitation. Has like a 70s feel to it. Danny Trejo, you know, lives and breathes being Machete. And this one, Steven Seagal plays the bad guy. And there's even like a cameo from like Robert De Niro. Yeah, it's really, really, really good. Really dug this one. Then the sequel, Machete Kills. I got the steelbook of it. There's talk about a third one. I don't know if they were joking or not, or they wanted to do like Machete in space. Who knows, man? And yeah, and Mel Gibson was in this one playing the bad guy. And this was in the time where, you know, he was kind of like blacklisted in Hollywood. Up next, Machine Gun McCain, John Cassavetes, Peter Falk and his wife Gina Rollins of John Cassavetes. This is kind of like an American version of Eurocrime, Poliziotteschi movies. It's about a bank. They're doing like they're stealing money from a casino, and yeah, it's pretty damn good. Up next, we have Mad Dog Time, and the only thing I remember from this movie is that Siskel and Ebert gave it 2 thumbs down, but like way, way, way down. It was like their worst movie of, I believe, 1993. No, 96, really? Oh, okay. So that's the only thing I remember, and just from that alone, I want to see it. And Richard Dreyfuss plays like the bad guy in this, like a gangster type person. So I'm very curious to see it. Then we have Arnold fighting zombies. I believe his daughter becomes a zombie, Abigail Breslin, right here. And it makes them all sad and mopey. And that's the movie, pretty much. Then we have the first movie from Denis Villeneuve, Maelstrom, starring Marie-Josée Croze and Jean-Nicolas Véraud. Movie I've yet to see. I need to see because I'm a big Denis Villeneuve fan. I cannot wait for Dune coming out at the end of the year, if it comes out at all. And of course, Blade Runner 2049 being a masterpiece. Just an amazing sci-fi movie. I have right here The Majestic, Jim Carrey movie from the late 90s, I believe. Frank Darabont. He of the Shawshank Redemption did this. Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet, so I can't talk about it much. There you go. A comedy series, it's you know, it's likable. I enjoy is Major League. I like this version of the DVD with like the fake baseball turf right here. But yeah, it's a fun little comedy. You know, Charlie Sheen, Tom Berenger, Wesley Snipes in this as well. But he was not famous Wesley Snipes back then, so this is like one of his first movies. And then I have, you know, Major League 2. I'm just missing Major League 3. Here is probably, in my opinion, Spike Lee's best movie. Malcolm X. Actually saw this in theaters, and yeah, it was amazing. I've only seen it once. I need to, and I was like 14, 15 at the time. I need to see it with my adult eyes, where I am right now, because. But it is a long movie. It's like 3.5 hours plus, easy. But you know, that kind of movie, I don't mind it because you know, it flies by. Up next, Malibu Express. This is one of the first release from Mill Creek from the Andy Sedaris filmography. The last 2 movies just came out, and I need to get my hands on those. But you know, bombs, boobs, and babes, and all the what like teens, male teens would want to see. You know, you get in these movies. It's just pure fun, pure unadulterated fun. So there you go, Malibu Express. A fun little thriller that I actually saw in theaters as well. Malice, Alec Baldwin playing like a surgeon. He has like a god complex. Nicole Kidman playing his wife. Bill Pullman, I can't remember what roles he plays in this one, but this is one of the early Nicole Kidman movies right here. The Brian Trenchard Smith movie I was talking about earlier, that is my favorite of his, is The Man from Hong Kong. Shot in Australia, and it stars what's his face? There's Sammo Hung in this. George Lazenby, who played you know, James Bond for one movie. But this is a fun exploitation kung fu-ish, you know, movie. It's very much worth your time. Then we have The Man Who Wasn't There, Billy Bob Thornton, Frances McDormand, James Gandolfini, a black and white movie from Joel Eaton, the Coen brothers, right here. And there you go. Next are not movies, but video games that I just stayed in my shelf. Right there is Batman, Arkham Knight, and Mortal Kombat 10. And these are in my shelves because I work on these games. Back in the day, I was a tester. And actually, my name are in the credits in both of these games. So, you know, I just keep it there as a souvenir. I've never actually played them. How about some Woody Allen with Manhattan? Probably my favorite of his. Probably the favorite of everyone's. That in Annie Hall, I guess. Then we have the Manhattan Project. John Lithgow, Christopher Collette, and Cynthia Nixon. Oh my God, I've seen this. I don't remember. I don't remember much of anything. So there you go. Maniac. I mean, if you're a fan of, you know, grindhousey exploitation movies from the 70s or early 80s, it has to be in your collection. You know, this is William Lustig, who was a giant fan of those kind of movies. Tom Savini did the makeup. And this one, and Joe Spinell gives a, you know, unerving performance, let's just say. This is like the old version of the Blue Underground Blu-ray. They're up to like the 4K version now, a 3D set. I'm quite happy with this one right here. It is good for me, so I will stick with that. Up next is one of my favorite series from the 80s, Maniac Cop. Tom Atkins, Bruce Campbell's in the first one. I need to get the Blu-ray, the Blue Underground Blu-rays. This is like an old version of this, but again, William Lustig, you know, and Richard Roundtree's in this one. Robert Zdar playing the Maniac Cop. Then we have Maniac Maniac Cop 2, which is my favorite in the series, with Robert Davi. Bruce Campbell was barely in this one, but yeah, I believe this is my favorite in the series. And then Maniac Cop 3, Badge of Silence. Things about like voodoo. You know, a voodoo priestess that like controls the Maniac Cop. And yeah, I think they were running out of gas on this one. And another fun fact about, and it's not a fun fact, but it is a fact that Larry Cohen wrote all of these movies, so that's an added bonus right here. Another direct-to-video movie from the 90s, and it is Maniac Cop, and they even use a picture of Maniac Cop right here. Like, I just noticed this with Morgan Fairchild, Frank Stallone. I feel this would be like a great Vinegar Syndrome release at some point. That would be kind of nice. Then Mannequin. I mean, you know, I like my cheesy 80s romantic comedies. Even Mannequin 2 on the Move. This one with Christy Swanson. But, you know, this is the OG one right here. I got The Man Who Fell to Earth. This is the 40th edition Blu-ray. I believe this was released by Studio Canal. This is a great little version of this right here. You got like a book. I'm going to show this right now, right here. Then a poster, I believe. So it's always fun. Up next, The Man with Two Brain. Steve Martin's. Like when he was on a roll in the early 80s. This was one of them. Carl Reiner, I believe, directed this one. So there you go. Two left. The Man Without a Face, Mel Gibson. Movie directed by him. I believe it came out in, what was it, 94, 95, something like that. The only thing I remember that I love about this movie is the soundtrack. It's a killer score done by... Who is it done by? It's somewhere. I am looking at this. James Horner. There you go. James Horner. That's the one thing that pops in my mind. And then the thing I just posted on Instagram just now, Mars Attack. And this is, I think, one of the last good Tim Burton movies. It's really wacky, kind of all over the place. A giant cast of people. Jack Nicholson, Glenn Close, Annette Bening. Again, Pierce Brosnan came back for this one. Danny DeVito. It was based on the trading cards or something from like the 60s or 70s, something like that. But I feel like this is one of the last good ones from Tim Burton, you know, until he sold out to Disney and now just directs, you know, crap. But that's just me. That's just me saying that. So there you go. Another shelf done. Shelf number 9. Up next will be the second library. I won't be sitting on my ass for this one. I'll be standing right up. I got a few more. I got a couple videos coming up soon. Working hard on this. And then Fantasia 2020 coming up at the end of August. I'll be doing quite a few reviews. I got the press pass, so you know I'm all good with that stuff. So thank you for watching. I see you. I wave to everyone that waved at me back. And you'll see me again soon with another shelf. Thanks for watching.